So the big news is already out there. CPT 2021 has officially been announced. And oh boy, am I excited. But before I get too far into it, I want to let my guy, Brian F, my young Skip, how are you feeling about the new CPT 2021?
Listen, we had one of the most dramatic patches we have seen in the history of Street Fighter V ever, and I feel like we're having the least amount of time, actually, if we really do the math. It's the least amount of time since a major patch has dropped before a CPT season has started. So I know we'd all love to be offline, but I am so excited to see what the meta brings because it's just going to be so fresh. I mean, I feel like I've been playing like every day and I still don't have this figured out. Like, this is the most fresh Street Fighter V has been since release. So I'm just super excited to see what we have to, what the players have to offer, especially since we got new regions. We got new ways to play. We got new tournaments going on. So that breakdown, I'm super interested to see what that brings. So if you look at the regions, actually, there was a lot of thought and feedback taken from the online. You know, we don't want too many players having to play cross-continent, cross different regions that are too far away to play. So there's a lot of reorganization that happened. And if you look at the regions, you know, they started breaking them down piece by piece to make them make more sense, right? What do you think about that, Rob?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. I mean, the region part is automatically an instant W to me. I mean, of course, I am a bit biased because Big Hollywood is actually from Ohio, and that region that's located in is none other than what we like to call Mid-Best, or the uninitiated may call it the Midwest, and we now have our own region. And I also am African American. I'm African, and with that being the case, I am very excited to see Africa actually being able to get some shine this season. So now I think that it won't be as much about who exactly is your sponsor, but of course keep sponsoring players that still need it. Very important as far as the growth to the scene. But it won't be about just who your sponsor is, or you know, your exact amount of free time for traveling and where you live at, because of course those flights from overseas cost a lot more than somebody like myself being here in Ohio in the States, and we could just travel to everything at a pretty decent rate. With that being the case, I mean, this format, to me, it solves that problem, and we actually get to see a whole lot of new and different faces. I mean, Brian, me and you were analysts at the CPT season final, and I remember there was specifically a match that I really loved, and it was the Australian match. It was Somniacs and Rumors. That match was amazing, and that's a match that we probably wouldn't normally get to see. So, of course, even when it comes to Capcom Cup, what I realized is that there's storylines outside of just the skill level. So since we were stuck online, we didn't get to see all of like 100 Japanese players qualifying for Capcom Cup, and that did suck. At the same time though, we got to see a lot of unique and interesting matches that we wouldn't have got to see otherwise. So I think the new format is amazing.
Are you trying to imply that some of these regions might not be up to par with the others?
Yes.
Is that? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk trash though. It is what it is.
That's what you're opening up with. I mean, we'll have to see about that. That is true in the past. Like, Capcom Cup has been pretty much dominated. I think like 50% or more of like a 32-man bracket has generally been players from Japan. But this time, since they, we have limited, there's not cross-pollination, right? It's the players playing in the region that they're from. And then every region has a tournament which you can win to qualify. Some of them have multiple, like they scaled it differently this year. So I believe Japan has more tournaments, so they will have more players to qualify, which I think is fair considering it's the most stacked region. Like, I'm gonna be a buck. I think Japan is still the best. We'll maybe touch on that later, but I do like that they divvied up the regions a lot more. So for example, like we touched on NA, it's East, Midwest, and West now. It's not just East and West, which is to both give more players shine and fill up the 31-man bracket. It was 20 last online CPT, but also to mitigate connection issues. You know, you can't play against the whole world with Street Fighter V online, but it gives more players more chance to shine as well. Central America is now East and West. Brazil is its own region entirely, which I think makes a lot of sense. They have so many great players there. Europe is divvied up pretty interestingly. There's the West, North, UK and Ireland, and then France, Spain, Portugal. Those are 4 separate regions there. Asia's divvied up. So basically, they just try to approach this a lot more logically, both for online play and to give regions shine. And like you touched upon, Republic of South Africa, I think that is like the new region that we have not had a chance to see in online CPT or offline. I mean, I haven't known of any representative traveling from Africa.
I don't really know.
I'm excited to learn about that. There's definitely events. I see the events online on Twitter where the local scenes are definitely putting on, representing. But I think that's awesome. I love how fighting games are worldwide. I mean, that's been proven with Street Fighter V, especially. Like, I know I'm already being biased for Japan, but we've seen so many people from so many regions dominate. I mean, Dominican Republic is one of the big scenes that exploded during Street Fighter V, and that's not because they suddenly got good. That's because they finally had the chance to show how good they were. So I'm super excited to see that, and we get representatives from regions that weren't normally shown for. But yeah, I'm just excited that we got more tournaments. Like, the 2020 season was, you know, we're trying to make do with a bad situation, and I'm glad it happened, and now we learned our lessons. And then going into 2021, I'm super excited to have a lot more events and a lot more cast of characters coming to compete. So now that we're in 2021, we have the 2020 year, one of the years we all want to forget, but, you know, I don't think we will, behind us. I think we've learned a lot of lessons for how to handle a CPT season. And we just want to say, first of all, shout outs to Capcom for kind of managing this whole season, because we almost went a whole year without any competitive play. And if there's anything I know about the FGC, is that the tournament scene is the lifeblood of the scene. I mean, it's about all of us coming together to share a common passion and to test our skills. And then, you know, that's really the jumping off point for everyone to socialize, get to know each other, share that passion, and find a common interest between all of us. And I really think that this steady season of competition to look forward to keeps things exciting, keeps things fresh, keeps the players motivated, and I think that gives everybody something to look forward to. And for a while there, we weren't sure what was going to happen. It was a really uneasy time for the community. I mean, everyone is, you know, stressed with how things are going in the world, and they managed to turn around and get us an online season really like last minute. Like, we had to pivot fast, and then we started competing. And the fact that we were able to actually play and actually have something to look forward to at the end of the year to celebrate, and that's what I really think that 2020 season finals was all about, was like the celebration of the community, that we're still here, we're still playing, we still have a game that we love. I think that's an amazing thing that we have, and that's why I'm super excited about 2021, because now that we got a bit more time to really figure things out, I think they're going in a even stronger direction with the online tournaments. So I'm excited that, you know, we're playing for more prizes. There's prize money, there's better regions, and I think there's a lot of lessons that have been learned from that 2020 season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I feel like with us doing the new show, there's gonna be some people, like, I wonder if people would take my words differently now. Like, just because it's on an official Capcom Fighters. Look, I keep it a buck regardless. You see Brian right here, he got no nooch, you know what I mean? -4 and all that type of stuff. Actually, now that we are on this platform,
that is nooch.
-4 is nooch?
That's nooch. What are you talking about?
It completely skips over, and with I'm putting 2 and 2 together, -2 and -2 together, and that makes -4. And that must mean that, was it a part of your contract that Balrog got buffed? Is that why you're sitting across?
No comment. I'll see you in the Midwest CPT. We can settle it there. How about that?
Next topic, please.